Hello, Tammy DeMursa and her guinea pig, Susie Stroud. How are you doing, guys?
Oh, great.
Good. We're going to have another healing session. Tammy is going to, with her team of angelic beings or entities, is going to help Susie. Do you want to start first, Tammy, by explaining what you're going to do, or do you think Susie should explain her needs? I think the latter.
I'm going to tell you that I never know what we're going to do in a session. I'm just a willing vessel. So, Susie, what can we do for you today? What kind of things are you going through?
Well, for the longest time, perhaps maybe even 30 plus years, I've felt really depressed. Things were holding me back. Didn't feel spiritually connected. And over many years, the depression, I think, got really bad when my brother died and when my mother died. And my mother died in 96. And I can tell you from that point forward, things in my life, in particular work, were one ego event after another. And I just felt like I needed to clear that. Anyway, Elisa knows in the past 2 years, I lost my job in February 2017. And luckily I have a part-time job to help pay bills, but I can't go on much longer depleting my retirement savings to pay my bills. And Elisa knows I have applied for 3 jobs in the past 2 months and got rejected. And I'm eminently qualified. I don't get an ego way.
I knew I should have left them outside, but it's raining. It's outside. So I'm going to mute myself just a minute.
Oh, okay. So I feel like I have really needed a healing. There's something blocking me. There's something that I can't get through. I have really, really tried in the past 2 years to have my spirit team or guardian angel to help me, and I can't seem to break through. And I think through Eric, because I love Eric and Elisa, they've done so much for me and for others, that somehow or another, Eric spoke to Elisa and Elisa spoke to you, and that's where we are today.
Okay, so I'm so glad that you brought up this kind of healing, Susie, because this kind of healing to me is the most important. The physical body or the physical world showing symptoms is not as important as what is going on as the root cause. So a healer, which is really supposedly all mediums are healers, we're supposed to be getting to the root causes of things for you and not just necessarily worrying only about the physical healings, because this is how it works. There's a hierarchy in all things. And the way that it works is that if we are in the spiritual, I use these 3: spirit, mind, and body. And when that is in alignment, all 3 of those, everything just seamlessly works. There's miracles, there's love, there's excitement, there's hope, there's everything. When the spirit side of you, which I think is like front and center, never moves, and the emotional realm are not together, then the emotional realm may be here, and then the body or the physical world has to go, well, I'm going to go way over here because she's not in alignment. So what happens is that when you go through depression, whether it is a situational depression or a depression that is all-encompassing, it's just that something is stuck in the emotional realm and needs to be healed. Now, you're aware enough to know that. But I'm explaining this for all of Elisa's viewers because even though I know you have this cognizance and awareness, most of the people that come into these videos and listen do not know that a healer actually really heals the emotional realm, and then the physical just gets into alignment. Does that make sense?
Interesting. Is that why things go better, or maybe it aligns better when you're in the now?
Yes.
Is that what that's then all those 3 bodies
wow
in alignment?
Elisa, that is an amazing point. And if humanity could just be present with what is going on now instead of dragging in the story
or dreading the future.
Yes if you could just be in the moment and really looking at your life and going, what good can I find from this? What do I want to experience?
It's so hard to do. I mean, I got monkeys in my brain. I can't, it's really hard for me to be present. I'm always thinking, what do I need to do on my to-do list and all that, you know. But this is not my session, it's Susie's. Go ahead.
No, but you're actually speaking for all of your listeners, because every single person has that, what I call squirrel, you know, and you're just all over the place in all things. When you find yourself doing that, or in your case, Susie, you know that there's something that is blocking you. And I'm going to tell you a few things that I picked up about you personally, okay? Immediately, and I still feel it right now, I'm wanting to touch my stomach, because my stomach is in knots.
Mm-hmm.
And when you mention the death of your brother and your mother, it's like you have never been the same and feel like you're just completely alone and you don't have support and you don't have anybody that really cares about you or really knows you. And your identity, it's because your identity was tied up way too much with who your family was. So understand this, we come in as a soul family. We'll revisit lifetimes with each other, as you well know. And when you do that and you are tied to, I am this, I have this identity, and bless your heart, having this emotional response is beautiful. And that's the other thing that I felt. It was all that I could do, Susie, not to just start bawling and even screaming from angst and anguish and pain and gut swirl. And I still feel it. It's like it's rising here. It feels heavy on my heart.
But let the tears flow, Susie. It's okay.
Yes. Thank you. Actually, I would suggest that you do what God told me to do one time. He said, go beat up your sofa. Beat the hell out of your sofa. And I did. And it made me feel better. I was like, oh, and I was just going at it because I was in the middle of a horrible divorce.
Oh,
and there were so many things that, and part of it is, and the biggest disconnect and the pain that you're feeling has to do with your spiritual journey here. Your journey here is to overcome the degrees of separation that you feel with you. And so when you look at another person as being, you're the catalyst, you're the deciding factor, you're the one that identifies me, you're the one that tells me whether or not I am loved. And when you give that to one or two or three people, you're in trouble. And you don't even know you're in trouble. So when you look at my life, my value, my contribution to mankind, my feelings are tied up with another individual, then one, you've given your power away. Two, they are obligated to show you, no, you're not supposed to be coming to me for everything. And sometimes they'll leave your life, whether it is in death, you know, what I call transition, or whether or not it is in breaking up a relationship or mistreating you. They're basically trying to say, no, this isn't it. No, this isn't it. Find something else. So when we put the pressure of another human being making us feel better about ourselves, we're out of alignment. Does that make sense? Yeah. So then when we have a lot of pain in our own personal life from things that are unfulfilled, which is what I'm hearing in you, that you have unfulfilled dreams. And yes, because you couldn't seem to get to those dreams, Susie, then you automatically went, well, I'm just going to make myself comfortable with, I can have this. I can have this. At least I have this. At least I have this. And then exactly. I jerked out from underneath you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so then you're left with, okay, I don't have that fulfillment. I'm empty. I'm empty. I'm empty. And then when you start focusing on, I feel depressed. I feel empty. I don't know what to do. I don't have hope. I'm losing it financially. I don't have a purpose. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to live. I don't know how to breathe. What I feel with you is I can't breathe. And it feels like a crushing that sits on your chest sometimes, doesn't it?
Yes.
So what I'd like for you to do right now is just to put your right hand where I have mine on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want you to sway just a little bit with me. And we're going to bring you into the present moment. And I'm just going to speak for you, if that's okay.
Yes.
So just barely sway your body. And this is to get you out of your mind. Okay? So I'm giving you something physical to do, just to sway. I'm doing it with you. And it's to help you to move into the moment of now. So I'm just going to speak for you, and then I want you to tell me if this resonates. I am stuck. I have been stuck for a very long time. I have been stuck so long. I do not know how to get free. I don't know how to breathe by myself. I don't know how to live. I don't know how to support myself emotionally or financially. I do not know how I'm going to live. I am in trauma most of my waking hours.
Oh, gosh.
Now, is that true, Susie?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. Okay, so it's hard because as an empath, I feel that pain.
Whoa.
And so we're relieving it right now by shining a spotlight on it and saying, we're going to go into that. We're going to look at it. We're going to expose it. So you feel it. You don't have to have your heart on your chest anymore, but you can if you like. So you understand that thoughts are things, right? And that what you realize now is that what you've been focusing on, Susie, is the predicament. And it's the limitations of it. And if I knew, and this is something else that I'm hearing, and I'm not only hearing this, Elisa, it's funny, but I'll pick up on your people that are going to listen to this either now or later. And I can hear people screaming at me, if I knew what to do, I would do it, Tammy. This is frustrating. Okay, I got you.
You actually can feel the response of future viewers when the YouTube is posted.
Yes, sweetheart.
So, well, of course, there's no linear time, so of course that's possible. That is so cool.
So, and even when I was writing my book, I could feel what people were going to say and how they were going to respond. And I would remotely view people in the future reading my book and crying at a specific moment. And I would literally talk to people, Elisa, as I was writing my book, and I would say their name and say, I know, sweetheart, when you get to this point, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. I love you. I send you love. So, Susie, first of all, I want to thank you for being so brave.
Yes.
And for coming here today and for being a representation of so many people. I've got people that are right there from being homeless, not knowing how they're going to survive, how they're going to feed themselves, how they're going to do anything. And you're a representation of millions of people today, Susie. So I just want to say, in honor of you coming, thank you. Because you represent the predicament of humanity. Okay, so
courage has the potential, obviously, to help so many.
Yes.
So I'm so grateful to you for putting yourself out there. And so should the millions and millions of people you are helping. They will all send you thank you cards. What is your address?
Thank you.
Well, Elisa, I'm going to say something right now.
Put money in the card if you send her a thank you card.
Well, actually, I'm going to do something.
A job offer would do too.
Yeah.
Actually, you're the reason that you don't have the job, and until you get to that, you can't get to the job.
What are your skills? What kind of job are you looking for? Or do you
since '84, I worked at the University of Houston, worked at the med school. I worked all over the medical center as a grant and contract specialist.
Okay.
So it's a very fine niche of contracts management.
Mhm.
And really, medical science depends on researchers and research administrators who know that field. And I did that for years and years and years. And in fact, I'm the only one in Texas with all 3 certifications.
Wow.
Ironically, I studied hard and got those national certifications thinking in the back of my mind, oh, this is job security. You know, I'll be hired in a minute if I should ever lose my job. And the irony is, no one
You're
ever
stuck.
called.
Yeah, you're stuck. All right,
It's-
well, let's unstuck you. What do you want to do, Tammy? And
Well-
anybody who needs somebody with her employment skills, you know that after this session, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with, so hire her, please.
Well, the issue is not whether or not she is valuable or her skills are very specialized, which they are. That's not the thing that's in the way. If something is not happening in your own life, it is an inside job. It's within you.
Right.
So for you personally and for everybody else who's looking at, if this person would do this, if this person would hire me, if that company, if this person, if that, no, it's in here. It's in this inside job here. So what we're going to do is go in a little bit deeper. One of the things that I'm being asked to ask you is, what is your percentages of grants approved once you help to write them?
Well, I don't write them. I do the accounting part, the budget part, the process of submitting them to the federal government, state governments, and funding agencies. So, the worth or the fundability is based on the science and the medical science behind it. So I can't take credit for that. But getting it all in and getting it in correctly is like filing your income taxes correctly.
That's
You know,
huge.
you're the accountant that files it and makes sure it goes through and make sure all the rules are followed. So the percentage of all the work that I did, it's got to be close to 100%. I was just that good, and I developed that over many years.
And
But
that's the point. So I want you to go to that point right there. This is why Spirit asked me to ask you. If you stop thinking about what is common for you to think about and you start thinking about your contribution to these grants and the organization and the structure and the medical research and the compilation and the strategizing and which thing you feel needs to be extrapolated or used or pronounced or more put out in the future, can you feel, because I'm reading you right now, can you feel that there's a shift in your focus?
yes, I do. I feel like, but you're here with me. I'm afraid I will get more and more depressed, thinking, well, it was very clear to Tammy, but it's not clear to me
Right.
that. So I
Tell me
I
what
do
your greatest
I do
fear
feel
is.
that. So you're saying focus on what I was successful at doing and and what I could do and that would change that would change something inside me,
Well,
right?
actually, you're a bit off on that as well. And this is, I'm so thankful that you're in this place and you're being authentic and being honest. You are, in both cases, looking at the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking you to go to the past. I'm asking
Okay.
you to look at the evidence of what you created so that you can catapult and move to what you want to create, you see.
So
So
you think,
what you're doing is you're stuck in the past. You're stuck in the past and what you had, what you felt safe in, what you believed, was going to satisfy you to make you good. But I'm going to tell you something. Whenever God gives us something or Spirit gives us something, it's only a marker. And the marker moves all the time. As soon, let's say, you're on the football field and God gives you a football and says, okay, here's the goalpost, run. We've given you a direction. We've given you an idea. We've given you a concept. We've given you a goal. Did you know as soon as you take the ball in your hand and you start running, you've already changed the goal and the marker because you've already started the process of moving? What's happening to you right now is you don't even see that there's a ball to be thrown to you. You can't see that there's any hope at all whatsoever of you doing any better than where you are right now. So that's being in the moment of right now. So Susie, for you and for millions of people, why don't you say what it feels out loud, start to get out of you this guttural pain that I have felt, this pain in my chest, this overwhelming, I'm done, I want to go. I want to leave this world. I don't want to be here anymore. Say it out loud. Get some of that energy out.
I just don't see why I should go on. I don't want to keep going through this Groundhog Day of every day waking up, it's the same thing or feeling the same thing. And like I said, I think it goes back to when my mother died.
It's before then.
And when my brother
try to figure it out. Just talk about how you feel.
And I feel helpless. I have tried so hard to have my angels talk to me and guide me, and I feel blocked. Everyone tells me you can hear your guardian angel, or you can communicate with him, and I don't feel that. If I could get a glimpse of that, I think I could have hope. I could have hope that I could find something.
Keep going. What does this frustration feel like? What does this hopelessness feel like?
That I'm drowning in quicksand. I'm not completely submerged yet, but I'm drowning in quicksand.
Do you feel angry?
I feel angry at the past bosses. I was naive thinking, the situation will get better, and it never did. Some really mean people, and I think, if you get back into that job, just remember, those people haven't changed. That culture hasn't changed. So
what scares you about going back in?
Pardon me?
What scares you about going back in?
Yes, and when right after I got lost my job, I was on unemployment, and I took some of my savings and I became a trained paralegal, and I tried real hard to apply for jobs, and I still can do that. But the teacher in the paralegal program was real mean to me. She would help other people find jobs, but she didn't help me. And in all honesty, I'm a good person and a nice person.
But why did she do that, do you think?
She did that to other people. She is the very embodiment of ego. And then I have to remind myself, lawyers are like that. Some lawyers are like that. A lot of them are.
Yeah.
Very antagonistic and very ego-driven.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the universe just teaching me, look, you're on your own. She could probably open a door. She wrote a glowing recommendation letter because of my rank in the class when I graduated, which was guaranteed to all of us who were in the top of the class. But I have that. But it was that she was so mean and hateful, and she has been like that. I thought, oh, here we go again. Someone in grant field, someone in the paralegal field, and it's like, it must be me. There must be something wrong with me.
Okay, so it's your pattern. It's a pattern. Who does this lady remind you of?
Pardon me?
Who does this lady remind you of that is instigating the pain? Because this lady is not the issue. So who was treating you like that? Who was mean to you? Who wasn't validating you? Who wasn't making you feel important? Who wasn't listening to you in your life that mattered to you?
Oh, well, I don't mean any disrespect, because I loved my mother.
I knew it.
But she did the best she could. And she and I were very different. So, I mean, to honor who she was, we were just very different people. But she was the authority figure that didn't quite get me. She didn't quite understand I was the studious one. I was, I guess the boring child that she had. But we just had very different interests. But up until she died, we were close. But I think she tolerated me, and I don't mean any disrespect.
Okay. Now, see, we've guided you to the root.
Yeah.
And so the raw emotions are starting to come out. So I'm going to say a few things, Susie, and I just want you to allow your body to do what your body does. If you need to cry, you cry. If you need to grunt, then you grunt. You do whatever your body needs to do. So the reason I instigate asking questions is because I want you to feel, not just me. I don't want people dependent on me. I want to guide you to your own answers. So here's what we do as human beings. And Elisa, this is fascinating. By the way, what Susie just did in front of everybody is fascinating, because we'll get fixated on one person, and that one person represents our entire life. But we think if the one person would have behaved differently, if they hadn't have been mean, if they hadn't have been hateful, if they hadn't have been, the way that they were, we'd be fine.
But now that she died, I mean, her death may be important because now you can't rewrite the script. You can't.
Actually, you can.
I mean, but that's what you're thinking now, maybe, or subconsciously. I know you can't.
Yeah.
But maybe that's part of the problem. Her death is like, okay, now I can't really have closure on the bad parts of or the dysfunctional parts of her relationship with me. Could that be?
Yes. Well, it's like regret and unresolved.
Oh, unresolved.
So when we have a curriculum with a certain being and they're no longer in our lives, this is the example of why people still go back to relationships that are toxic, because they haven't finished the curriculum. So it doesn't matter if the person has transitioned or not. Something in our psyche will say, I can't ever get that love from my mother. Susie, your mother did not love you unconditionally.
Oh, that's true. I believe that.
She did not understand you.
That's
And
absolutely
you can't
true.
say that you love somebody unconditionally if you don't know them. You see what I'm saying? So your entire life was trying to make up for my mother loving me, because my mother is the representation of whether or not I am lovable. So let me tell you a few things to help you to understand. Unfortunately, in this lifetime, we will look at our parents specifically as the representation of whether or not we are loved. We look at them as being ordained by God. They're supposed to love us unconditionally. They're supposed to want us. They're supposed to protect us. They're supposed to watch out for us. But your mother couldn't do it. It wasn't her role. And if you're still looking at her as fulfilling that specific role that she did not come here to fix or to do, and you came here with a certain curriculum, let me explain. Your curriculum is more about overcoming the need of someone else telling you that you are special, or that you are loved, or that you are smart. The thing that blows my mind about you is that with all of the information that I'm getting of you, one of the things, and I'm just going to go down a list real quick: highly intellectual,
Yes,
highly intelligent, very purposeful, very high code of ethics, sweet, innocent, childlike innocence, wanting to fit in, wanting to play on the playground with other people, wanting to have unity, wanting to have connection, wanting to feel that what you're doing is purposeful and good, not wanting to just work and get money. You're not superficial. You're a deeper person. You're not competitive, and yet people are competitive with you. People have been jealous of you, specifically women, and guess who was one of the biggest? Your mother.
Oh,
you think
yes.
her mom was jealous of her, you think? For her intellect and her high achieving attitude?
Yeah, she would make fun of me for I would mention something I'm studying in school. That was
never going to go well.
It was never. So I kind of shut that off. I wasn't going to have those kind of conversations with my mother.
Well, can I ask a question? Do you think that there was a spiritual contract that Susie and her mom agreed to before incarnating
Yes.
together? What was
That's the problem.
what was the contract? The contract was to teach her how to have self-love without anybody else, feeding into that or relying on love elsewhere. Was that the lesson?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
look, with my parents, it was terrible. And I was just like you. I just stuck on that for a long time. They were so abusive. And finally, I just said, okay, wait a minute. I must have gotten something out of this. And so I figured out, I got the ability to be assertive, compassionate, nurturing. It probably made me a better mother. I probably would have been a selfish, shallow bore had I not endured that horrible abuse. And then that was when I said, okay, that was valuable. I am so grateful for that. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, for playing the relationship villain. And now I can let go of my suffering and be in the now.
Yes. And that is the way that it is. But part of the issue with Susie, Elisa, that I see is that Susie has never really acknowledged how awful the mother's role was. Because we have a tendency to want to justify or to ease it or soothe it or calm it down or say, no, it wasn't that bad. And I'm going to give you evidence of that. You said something very profound. She did the best she could. Bullshit.
And not to dishonor her. That's what you said too.
Not to dishonor her. She did the best she could. No. Well, I'm going to give you a higher wisdom way of looking at this whole thing. Your mother came in to play an instigator. An instigator has to give you the dichotomy of who you are. The instigator, especially in a parental position where we come in with soul families and we're traveling with people repetitiously in these lifetimes, then they will play the instigator of the curriculum. They will be the conspirator. They will be the person that is poking you, or they're the thorn in your flesh.
Electronic cataprod.
Do what? Yeah, it's a cataprod.
Cataprod, yeah.
You're being electrocuted constantly. And when you come in with a very dense and difficult curriculum, Susie, which you chose, I'm going to tell you something that's wild. You already have the wherewithal and the strength and the ability to overcome it. And you're at the stage in your life where you're looking at, okay, well, most of my life probably has been lived, and what do I do now? And now
that's exactly,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's exactly what I was saying. Most of my life has been lived now. I'm going to be 60 years old this year.
Oh, good Lord.
And it's like, what have I done with 60 years? See, Elisa, you've done a lot. You and Eric have done so much for people. And you've done so much with your life. With all the tragedy.
Self-abuse, right? Now, look at how she moved to self-abuse.
People contribute to so many different ways.
Sorry, Alyssa, say that again.
This is about you. I mean, people contribute to the world, to humanity, to life, to themselves, to people around them in so many different ways, and they're all just as valuable, in my opinion.
What you just did was move to self-abuse, and you compared Alyssa's best with your worst. That doesn't work. So we're going to pull it back onto you and say, Susie, you're the one that needs to be healed. You came in here to get healing from repetitious relationships that you overgave, overworked, tried too hard, was trying to prove yourself, was looking for someone to validate you, was looking for someone to care about you when you didn't do it for yourself. This is one of the most common things that man is doing here, is experiencing the opposite of the truth of who you are in order to get to the real curriculum where you just overcome it. So what's happening is, and it's beautiful to see this because all these other people are going to see this, there's usually self-abuse, there's criticism, there's competition, but she did this, I didn't. There's justification, there's denial about who your mother was. I was sitting here when we first got on this and I thought, wow, you're talking about your mother like she was really good to you, and I know that that was not her curriculum. But if you can't get to the truth of that, so one of the things that I would suggest that you do is I want to ask you formally right now, can you start the process of seeing the truth about the role that your mother came here to play for you instead of what you wanted her to play?
Yes. Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So then what I would ask you to do, and this is for every listener who has had a family member that didn't work, believe me, when I had the kind of abuse that I did in my childhood, and I really didn't have anybody that I knew in my immediate family that had the capacity of loving me, unconditionally especially. And I was such a freak. You can imagine at 11 years old, I'm telling all this stuff that I'm hearing, and nobody in the family understands anything about it. And all they know is she's sweet, she's kind, but they don't know what else to do with me. So what I ended up doing was asking God, what area of level of growth do I need to go? And he said, well, you got to come to the truth about your mother first. And I said, what do you mean? I think she's great. She's awesome. I have a wonderful mother. That was me denying the truth. Now, I have to tell you that there's good and bad and right and wrong in every single person. And it's not that my mother or your mother was all bad, all wrong. There were good things about them. There were things that they did that was beautiful. Alyssa, same thing for you with your parents. But the overall agenda and modus operandi and how they functioned is the catalyst to let you know what the purpose is about. So we come into this realm to experience the opposite, the worst, so that we'll know the best. You see, if there's a little bit of healing that you need, then that's what you're going to look for. Susie, in your case, you need a lot of healing. And you know what that is an indication of? How old of a soul you are. It's just who you are. You came here to undergo this curriculum on purpose. Now, I can feel your energy shifting as I tell you that because you resonate with truth. You came here to experience this. So this issue of why did this happen to me? Why is just putting you as a victim. That's not what you came here to experience. You didn't come here to be a victim. You didn't come here to live out as a victim. So if you look at it, the physicality is showing you the evidence of the victim. I can't feed myself. I can't clothe myself. I'm using all my savings. I want to kill myself. I don't want to be here anymore. My mother didn't love me. My father left. My brother left. My mother left. I can't have love. I can't have a good boss. I can't find good people to work for. That's just a victim.
Yeah, I was trust me, I know I felt so sorry for myself for a long time, and that's natural, but I decided I'm not going to give those bitches my power. I want to take my power back. And so I just got in my mind a picture of a chessboard. And instead of being one of the pawns being shoved around from space to space, I decided to be the chess player. So I just shifted my perspective in that way.
So what we've done is
maybe you need to have this mantra repeated. Mom, you were a effing bitch. Mom, just over and over again.
So, Susie, I'm going to give you something else to say, and I just want to know if you can repeat this after me. No matter what I have done or haven't done, I am worthy of love. Can you just repeat that with me? Repeat it with me. No matter what I have done or haven't done, I am worthy of love.
I am worthy of love.
No matter what I have done.
No matter what I've done.
Or haven't done. I'm worthy of love. No matter what I've done.
No matter what I've done.
Or haven't done. I'm worthy of love. My identity is based on what my mother thought.
My identity is based on what my mother thought.
That is not my identity.
That's not my identity.
Because no matter what I've done.
No matter what I've done.
Or haven't done.
Or haven't done.
I am loved.
I am loved.
Can you feel the difference in this energy? You're starting to ease out of it. What's happening is, and this is the wildest thing, but it's almost like your mother is an idol. She's the focal point, and she is bigger than life. And believe me when I tell you this, she wants to get free of this curriculum too. And that's how you can be a leader. You can actually set you and your mother free. She's stuck.
Whoa, wow.
Wow.
Yes, she's stuck. The Robert Monroe Institute, I went for a training, and I was actually in trouble and thank God a medium did it, because we were there Friday night and all day Saturday, and on Saturday night, our facilitator, who was a medium, had been watching me, and I didn't really know it. I wasn't getting anything from it. I know that the Monroe Institute is really good, and I'm getting nothing from it, and I'm upset. And I'm feeling kind of comatose, like I can't think straight. I'm kind of lost. And the facilitator said, I'm hurting one of you. And there were only 6, and I'm looking around the room like, who is she hurting? Who in here is, more than this? And she said, Tammy, it's you. You start at a consciousness level of 11. She said, humanity is 2 to 3. Mediums are 4 to 5. Psychics are 7 to 8. You start at 11. I have been pulling you down to a different psychic level. So guess what I learned? After that, I got to ask her, where am I when I'm remotely viewing? What consciousness level? What's happening at this? What's happening at this? And one of the questions I asked her was, when somebody is coming back from a lifetime and they're approaching me about what they did to a person that is still living, what consciousness level am I going to? And she said 24 and 25. So your mother is stuck in that consciousness level. You came here to heal yourself. You came here to get free. So would you like to do that? Would you like to get free?
Oh, yes. ASAP.
Okay. So for everybody that is listening, just like everything else, and Elisa, honey, that little healing thing that we did with the guy in South Africa, I mean, people are writing and saying they couldn't speak for 20 years, and now they can speak, and their eyes are healed. And I'm going to tell every single person again, if you will get into this with us right now, you can heal yourself from the very same things, very same predicaments and issues that Susie is having, and even some that we haven't mentioned today. So what I would like for you to do, Susie, is to bring together, and if I were in a private session with you, I would do a lot more work than this. But for the purpose of setting you free today to where you can begin again, we're going to take the biggest clog out. You understand? We're going to deal with the biggest issue. So are you aware right now that you are tethered to your mother's identity of you? And not only her, but coworkers and other very strong women.
Yes.
That are like your mother. Mm-hmm. So after we finish this work, one of the things that I would like to ask you to consider is to write a letter to your mother telling her everything that we cannot do in this time together today, and then forgiving her and burning it or having a ceremony, bury it, throw it in the toilet. I don't care what you do with it, and have a physical ceremony. What I like to do is take a piece of paper and I'll fold it, and then I light it and just hold it like a stick, watching it turn to ashes and smiling, going, you are going away. The energy of you is going away. Okay.
Would it help to also express gratitude that she sacrificed herself as a relationship villain in a spiritual contract, or is that?
Well, that's what we're about to do. You're tapping into where I'm going, Elisa. So let's get to it really quickly. And Elisa, I know you may have to accept a delivery, so if you walk away, the audience will know. Okay, so Susie, I want you to close your eyes and picture your mother. Wow. She's a very strong-willed woman.
Yes,
wow.
very much.
Very opinionated, and it's my way or the highway. When I talk about her, understand that I'm not judging her. I'm talking about behaviorally what her role was. Here, I have absolutely no judgment at all, because she's talking to me about how she manipulated people, how she played games with people. She was smart. how strong-willed she was, how she would manipulate things to go just her way for her. She was very selfish in behavior. So what we're going to do is set you and her both free so that she can get her own healing, and then you can finish your healing. How does that sound?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, what do you feel when you see her right now? And I'm closing my eyes just so that I can tap in and watch her closer. What do you feel?
I feel her being a little judgy right now.
Yes. Okay, so what I want you to do is to picture putting a piece of tape over her mouth. Seriously.
Make it duct tape, please.
Put the tape over her mouth and say, you're not coming here for you to talk. You're coming here because I'm a leader. And I'm going to set us both free today. And this isn't about you. Now, the representation of her coming in kind of judgy and which is what I felt coming from her, is just her trying to say, but I'm playing this role for you. And now that we have put the tape over her mouth, guess what? She's just winked at me. Like, okay, I got it. We're going to do this. Okay. So what I want you to do is consider just repeating after me. And if you want to say it in your own ways, then say it in your own ways. Did you call her mom?
No. I never, when I was younger, I called her mama. But, in later years, I didn't call her anything. I mean, she was a force to be reckoned with. I mean,
you feel like she deserved the title of mom?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think she was, but she just had a very different personality than an outlook on life, and she had a hard life.
Yes,
So
she was, and that.
And I think that showed in the way she treated me.
Yeah. Emotionally, she was hard.
And she lost her son, so it was like a part of her had died when my brother died.
Yeah,
and it was almost like I wouldn't say she blamed me for my brother dying, but I'll just say it. I felt like she would have rather I died than my brother died. That the wrong child left.
Oh, that's exactly what I was about to say.
And I hate
Tell her how much that hurt right now. Tell her how much that hurt.
I don't think you really ever understood me. And you had such anger and such judgment that you projected that out. And the things you said to me after Tom died made me feel, I know you were in pain, and I know that you were angry. But you would lash out at me, and you never wanted to connect with me. And
it hurt.
It hurt, and I was even more isolated because I couldn't talk to anybody about my brother dying either.
Well, it's her loss that she didn't connect with you and get to know you.
Yes.
It's her loss.
Well, I was a good daughter. I would have been a really good friend. I think she really missed out on a really good friend.
She did, but she couldn't, and she pushed you away. But it's not how you are to identify yourself just because someone else behaved a certain way. So you can see that you're starting to unleash this pressure that is a dark cloud. What I felt about you when we first got on, there's a dark cloud that follows you everywhere you go. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're watching a movie. You can feel that darkness, that denseness. This is part of it. We're just exposing it. We're going into it and exposing it for you. So what I would say to your mother is, I forgive you for not loving me.
Yes. I forgive you. I forgive you this day going forward. We're done. There's no more emotional reaching out to thinking that I can make it better.
Well, actually, you're healing it right now in the process of this. So there's no reason to even think about the future, because you are being a leader that you came here to be with your mother right now. And see, that's part of the thing that's going on behind, is you knew that you had something specific to do for your mother and you felt like you never did it. And that's part of the guilt that you are going through. Okay, so I want to ask you, is it feasible for you to think about asking your mother to forgive you for giving her your power and what you did with her behavior and how you took it on and how you've been carrying it? It doesn't belong to you. The point is, it doesn't belong to you, and you taking it. Now, if you ask her to forgive you for that, it'll set you free. And then we can send the energy back to her so that she can go get her own healing.
I want to interject real quick. I see my delivery coming up, but my father was very angry with me toward the end because he couldn't believe he was immortal. All right, and he used me as a scapegoat. And but he always loved me the best. I was the only one in town that did everything for them, my parents, my sister. I waited on them. I was the responsible one. But at the very end, he picked me. And so because he was so angry, he left everything to the daughter that didn't do anything. And so what I'm saying is, sometimes people who have had a very hard past or are having a hard time will pick this scapegoat, but it's not like a personal thing. It's almost impersonal. You're a scapegoat. You're not the Elisa. You are just somebody to project my anger on, that kind of thing, maybe.
Yes.
I'm going to mute because here the delivery comes.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Okay,
so please forgive me for keeping that focus of wanting to be indebted to our relationship.
Do you want me to help you with this?
It wasn't a regular mother-daughter relationship if you didn't love me unconditionally, I think. I don't think it was healthy. And so please forgive me for carrying this. And I want you to be released as a spirit. And I do that out of love. Please forgive me for carrying that.
Yes.
Since 1996 when you passed away. And so let's turn the page on that. Let's close the book on that.
Okay, so that moves into more of a disempowered state. Can I help you?
Yes.
Okay. So whenever you say, let's do something, and you're not making the decision, then you're allowing them to help make a decision for you. So the way that I'm going to say it, and like I said, you can repeat after me, or you can, find your own way to say it. But I have to caution you about getting into complicated situations again, a web, if you will, that you're starting to activate again. So in this way, let's do it this way. And like I said, say it in your own words. I love you.
I love you.
And because I love you.
Because I love you.
I have to see you in the role that you played.
I have to see you in the role that you played in my life.
And I have to be honest about it.
And I have to be honest about it now.
And God is going to start bringing up memories of you.
And God will send me memories of you.
And I'm going to forgive you until there's nothing left to forgive.
And I'm going to forgive you each time until there's nothing left for me to forgive.
I am the leader between the two of us at this moment.
Right now, I'm the leader between the two of us at this moment.
And what you taught me, I haven't honored.
And what you've taught me in my life, I haven't honored.
I didn't know how to.
And I didn't know how to.
It just represented pain.
It just was so painful. And it represented so much pain.
On this day,
April,
you no longer represent pain to me.
You no longer represent pain to me.
And I take my power back from you.
And I take my power back from you.
That I gave you that would say, I deserve love or not because of you.
I didn't hear that last part. My cats were fighting.
It's fine. I said, you take your power back because you're going to use her in a different role. Not what you wanted from her, but what she came here to play so that you would get healed. That's empowering, you see? So you get to use what role your mother played. Either is it good, bad, right, wrong, spiritual, physical, painful, healing. Today, you get to choose. Mom, I'm going to use you for the purpose and the role that you played. Thank you for playing it. I've changed my mind. You see what I'm saying? Can you feel a difference stirring inside of you? There's a lot that's been going on in this time together. And I know, Elisa, you can't stay too much longer, and neither can I, because I've got another session. But Susie, I want to do something with you because this happens often in my work. Can you feel a difference now? There's a gap, there's air in between you and your mother, and it's not like this, where she's right here. Can you tell that there's already a degree of separation of that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so what I want you to do is close your eyes, and I want you to see what tool one of your guides or Eric is bringing forward for you to use to cut the cords.
Yes.
What do you see? What's the tool? Because I see it too.
Well, it looks like a crystal. It looks like almost a piece of glass that has a real sharp edge.
Yes, it does. It has a sharp edge. Yes. Okay, take it in your hand, and on the count of 3,
Yes.
you are going to set yourself free, which sets your mother free to go get her own healing. She is stuck in the consciousness level of 24 and 25. She's stuck. You're being her leader today by setting her free. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cut the cords and let me know when you finish.
It's done.
Okay, look around. Is there any more?
No.
Because I'm seeing 2. I'm seeing 2 cords. Feel them. One of them is with your brother and you not leaving. That's a cord that needs to be cut.
Okay.
And it's between you and your mother. The other one is relationships that you have had with other women because of your mother, especially female bosses that are very strong-willed. They remind you of her.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, can you feel those cords now that I have exposed them?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, cut those and let me know when you're done.
Done. Done.
Now, I want you to look at me for just a second. You're not the same person. You just got free. And you are beginning a new life with a new journey. And now the fog, the denseness, the heaviness that was keeping you from seeing. You can't see very well when you're covered with something. You see what I'm saying? Now you can ask God, where is the job? Not, can I have a job, please? Can I get one? Can you show me? Where do I go? I'm scared. I don't want a difficult woman. I don't want difficult attorneys. I don't want, no. That's the past. So now you can just say, where is my job? I can't wait for us to find it. Do you feel that difference?
Yes, I do.
Does it take, didn't you say once that it takes like 72 hours to totally everything to sink in?
Well, what you're referring to is that a lot of times when I'm running energy on people,
Oh, yeah.
it'll resonate for 3 more days, 72 hours. Yeah. Some people that do work with me, like this kind of work that we're doing right here, that's been a lifetime issue with her. Some people actually have to rest for about 7 days, or they feel fatigued or tired, or whatever, according to the amount of clearing that has been done, Elisa. But I haven't been running energy. Now I want to ask you this. I haven't been intentionally running energy, put it that way, because energy is always running when I'm speaking. Can you feel that your chest is almost like something warm is going across your chest? It almost feels like I have something prickly, warm right here that's like, oh, that's like a really cool heating pad that feels almost like an acupuncture thing.
Huh. Well, and for some reason, I feel like my spine is straighter. It feels like, okay, that weight is, I'm not carrying that.
Wow.
It feels like my spine is straighter now.
Now that's one of the things that I heard about you as soon as we got on here. I can't possibly tell the whole downloads of everything that I get, but one of them was her spine is curved from the weight of this.
Yeah.
Her spine is curved. And a lot of times I'll go, okay, God, we got to straighten out that spine, that hurts. Yeah, but I can't say it all. It's too much to say.
Maybe your throat chakra is better now because, you haven't lost your voice for so long.
Do you want a job? Do you want a job, Susie?
Yes.
Okay. Then
I want to make a contribution, and I want to know my purpose.
Okay.
And of course, I need a job. I told you I was very devoted to A Course in Miracles and studying it this year, and so I feel like Jesus and the Holy Spirit will work through me in that regard. But I just wish that I could find a fulfilling job, that would help pay the bills.
Okay. So pay attention to the energy of how you just then said that. I just wish that I could find a job that would help me pay my bills. That's not enough for you. That's not authentic. That's not truthful either. So I'm sorry. I know I'm kind of being rough on you.
No.
But I know that it's important that I point this out. So the way that I would look at it is, I want to support myself. I don't know how to support me. Now, did you just feel that in your chest?
Yeah.
You are here to make a contribution to mankind. You don't have to wish for that. You don't have to order that. You don't have to hope for that. You already are that. The issue is not whether or not you've made a contribution to other people. Everybody here has. The issue is that you don't know how to nurture you. So the way that I think would be a higher good of saying it is, I want a job that nurtures me. And when I'm nurtured and I'm fed and I'm blessed, then I automatically give this to others. See, everything is backwards the way that we look at jobs and families and kids and everything else. We think we have to give, we have to sacrifice, we have to be all that there is, and then there'll be some morsel left for us. The opposite is true. What is right for you is right for everyone. What is wrong for you is wrong for everyone. So if you don't get a job that doesn't support you, then how can you support other people? You see? So it's more about getting in that personal journey and asking God to teach you how to nurture yourself and to guide you to, or lead you to, or bring to you the job.
A job that nurtures you, a job that nurtures you like your mother never did. Now, we need to close pretty soon, but one thing I was confused about, did she need to cut a cord between her and her brother? I mean, maybe there could be some resentment, like, oh, he's the favorite child and all that kind of stuff, or resenting him for leaving, or, not having closure with their relationship.
Okay, so it actually wasn't between her and her brother. It was, and we know you went and got the package, so it's good that you're asking. There may be somebody else that needs this clarity the second time. We were cutting the cords between her and her mother, and she thought she was done, and I saw two more. And one of them had to do with the brother, you know, and the death of the brother, and the mother wishing that it was her, which is something that I heard as soon as we got on. The mother wishes she would have died instead of the brother. And then the second one had to do with the second thing that we said. So it was more about the cords between her and her mother that were still there that she couldn't see. See, the benefit of having done the work is that the more work that I do, you know, I tell Elisa every time I'm with you, I'm not gifted, I'm not special, I've just done the work. The more work I do, the more transparency there is with everything.
Yeah.
So I could see something that Susie couldn't. But once I pointed it out and we went in depth, she could see the two cords. So we didn't do any work with her and her brother. We were only working with her and her mother, which is the biggest catalyst. Now, if I had time with you, Susie, I'd do a lot more work than what we've done. But for the purpose of today and to help humanity in a larger role, what we've done is helped you to turn the corner. And when the old things of your mother come up, saying, no, thanks, I already did that. You know, God's helping me to finish that healing. And where am I going? What kind of job do I want? What did I really like about assimilating all that information for the grants? What stimulates me? What turns me on? What makes me want to get back into it? What drives me? What is it that I feel about it? You start getting into that energy, you get the job just like that.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
All right, so Tammy, do you want to say any last words? And then Susie, and then I want Tammy for you to share your website and anything else you want to share before we close.
Okay, so Susie, one of the things I'd like to do is just give you a little list of what I see in you. I started it before. You don't have to write a note. We've got it recorded. You're going to see this on YouTube with everybody else. So you can write it down then. Intelligent, innocent, kind, loving, generous, thoughtful, too self-sacrificing. It's out of balance. It's codependency, sweetheart. It's not working. Misunderstanding the strength and the power that you have within you. And let me just tell you that, again, what you've done today is for millions of people in your own predicament. You are bringing healing to millions today. This is what healing is. Healing is the mind. You know, A Course in Miracles, only the mind needs to be healed. Only the mind is sick. So the way that you've been thinking about your life, not accepting the truth about your mother, not really seeing the truth, not really admitting that God, she wished that it was me that died instead of her son, you know, getting that out. I was actually telepathically talking to you. And I was saying, come on, I know that's behind there. Come on, bring it out, bring it out. And you did. Congratulations, you've done a really good job today.
Yeah, that's a big contribution there.
Yes.
Susie, any last words for you?
Can I ask one last question of Tammy?
Yes.
I've always worried that when you have all of these issues, that they manifest themselves in physical illnesses.
They do. They have to.
Can you give me advice or direction on how I can, now that I've cut the cord and I'm going forward, that it won't show up physically in my body, that I can, what kind of exercise or what kind of thing can I start doing to make sure that that energy has left?
Okay. Well, first of all, there's a lot of fear energy involved in what you're saying. Did it work? Did I finish it? Is it coming back? Did it leave for good? The first thing that I would tell you is get away from that thought process and feel the difference in your heart. Feel the space that is between you and your mother now. Feel that I feel freer. My back feels straighter. So you went from looking at what was occurring and the evidence of it to your past thoughts. Do you see that? You just went backwards. It's okay. When you do that kind of thing, just say, I forgive myself and I choose again. And I'm going to listen to this YouTube again. And I'm going to feel that energy of this. And I'm going to feel that freedom. And I'm going to feel the difference in what I feel like now listening to it versus when Tammy first did it.
Good.
I'm going to feel that. I'm going to see how much I've changed. Also, when you wake up in the morning, feel your body. Your body is not going to feel the same. You may need to rest a little bit. One of the things that I'm hearing that would be really good for you is, and this is something else, when you're in fear and you're worried about getting something and whether or not it's enough, then you're just in fear energy. When you're in fear energy, you're not in love energy. And so in fear energy, nothing ever gets resolved. Nothing ever starts happening for you. So be mindful about where your energy is. Is it in fear? Is it in love? You see.
Yes.
And then one of the things that I hear would be good for you personally is to get in Dead Sea salt baths. And so
Oh, yes.
you
What
can buy
about
Dead Sea salt at Walmart. It's cheap.
Yeah, clearing all the negative energy in our spaces too, with smudging sage, Palo Santo sticks, or something. Burning salt in the rooms with alcohol, rubbing alcohol.
Okay. Thank you.
Get rid of all the residual negative energy because you don't want that to reattach to you. I guess I'm talking like I know, but whatever. Can't hurt.
Well, understand this, the fact that your mind is going back there will guide the energy to go back there. So you're in charge.
Good.
You're in charge of what energy you bring into your space. So if you find yourself not feeling good or you're caught up in the language that everybody does, and it's a victim mindset, it's fear. So get into more of the truth, and the truth sets you free. Okay.
Awesome.
You know, I maybe there you seem to plug into your spirit team. Can I do that? Where moving forward, I start thinking, well, what would be a nurturing job? What would be a nurturing environment? What can I do to move forward or to be in the present moment? Can I hear my spirit guides? Can I talk to them so that I start a new process? Is that possible?
Do you believe you can, or do you believe that you can't?
No, here's the thing. I think I'm deaf to my spirit guides. I think they're chatting away, and I can't hear them. And I don't mean physically hear them. I mean, I think I'm kind of intuitive, but I want to find a process where I can share with them.
Okay, so Susie, whether you realize it or not, you answered that out loud in front of everyone. What did you say? I believe I'm deaf.
Oh.
You don't believe you can hear. God will not circumvent that belief. You are right. If I believe that eating onion rings is good for me, guess what? Onion rings are really good for me.
Well,
If
yeah.
I believe they're bad for me, they're bad for me. That's why I asked you point blank, because I knew you needed to hear this way. Do you believe that you can be in contact with your team, or do you not? And you answered, but not quickly. So I would say, I forgive myself and I choose again. I want to hear you. Teach me how.
Yeah, not love. I mean, not fear, but love. Okay, we got to wrap it up, guys.
Yeah.
Tammy, any information you want, please.
I just want to say how much I appreciate you, Elisa, and you don't expect me to do this, but I'm just going to say that if any of you are receiving anything from any of Elisa's YouTube videos or anything that she's doing, her website, the workshop that we're about to offer May the 3rd of 2019, if you're receiving any benefit, consider reciprocating and donating to channelingeric.com. Elisa had no idea I was going to do that, and I'm sorry, but you need for us to say this. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. To be in this position that Elisa and I are in, I could start crying, thinking about the responsibility, thinking about how much time, thinking about how much effort, thinking about all of the admin stuff, thinking about having to get in touch with attorneys, thinking about how many components there are involved in Elisa being in the public life, me being in the public life. You have no earthly idea what it costs. And I'm not talking about monetarily. I'm talking about emotionally, financially, time-wise. If it matters to you and you want this to keep going, contribute
Well,
to
thank
her
you.
site.
And
So, my name is Tammy Demirza. You can get in touch with me by writing me at tammy@tammydemirza.com. I have a book called The Inmate and the Medium. If you buy the book, please let me know, because I invite people spontaneously every once in a while and just say, what do you want to know? What behind the scenes things can I tell you that were not in the book? It is my honor to be in this space with you, Susie, and you as well, Elisa. And thank you again for the opportunity to be a part of somebody's healing. This is what I do. I get into the deeper things. And I wasn't able to go that deep with Susie today, but at least we did something.
yes, awesome.
Thank you so much, Tammy and Lisa. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Tammy.
Bye. Love you guys.
Guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.